What's going on, guys? Rounded Tic Tac here, and welcome back to another video. This one is going to be a little different. I have a few things to talk about, and that's really it. It's not a build guide, but it's definitely something you should listen to, especially if you were running the top tree build. We're going to get there in just a second. If there has been a bigger champion of this game, I have not seen it. I absolutely love this game with a passion that is kind of ridiculous. I want it to succeed more than anything else. And sadly, once again, just like the other game that I played, the devs, I almost said Devastator, our complaints and the community's concerns are falling on deaf ears. So if you do not know what happened, on Thursday or Friday, there was a patch that was released. I never covered the patch notes because they weren't that in depth. There was a lot there, but what was actually stated was kind of mediocre. For example, instead of saying we fixed such and such to now do such and such, it really just said we fixed a bunch of mods that weren't working properly before, leaving the community to figure out which ones they were talking about. On top of that, they increased the armor values, which some people still have in their inventory. So now they have like 190,000 armor running a complete DPS build. That's very few, but it does exist. On top of that, they broke a ton of defensive mods. I'm getting one shot, people are getting one shot, everybody's getting one shot randomly, even with resistances, but that's not even the biggest issue. If there is a character on the back burner in this game, it is the Devastator. Not only did he have the hardest build to be able to clear CT-15s, where you actually needed an entire legendary set, no other class had that, not one other class. Granted, now Pyros run Akari because it's just what people want, and having a debuff Pyro is fun, but you could clear CT-15s with a gun build on a Pyro with all purples. 100% you could. So not only is he the hardest class to gear up, especially solo, he also has probably, in my opinion, the worst middle tree in the goddamn game. It is absolutely terrible. This node, I don't know if it's not working properly, but you legitimately only get a 5% bonus for either your firepower or your anomaly power. That means at this kind of level, at max level, with all anomaly gear, you and all of the armor nodes in the tree, you get 5,000, 4,000 anomaly power, which doesn't even compete with a mod that you can put on your gear. So we have a Devastator that absolutely needs a legendary set to be able to compete with the other characters. We have a middle tree that is nigh useless, that you can't even use. And now we have the issue with the top tree. Top tree, if you guys don't know, was currently my favorite build in the game, and especially the meta on Twitch. I don't know if you've stopped by or if you've watched or seen, is carries or helping. I did that in my last game. I don't really want to do it in this game, but I do dedicate one day a week, Saturdays or Fridays usually, to help anybody that wants to run a few harder CTs. What I was using in that build was my Vanquisher tree build with the statue set. It just had more consistent damage, higher damage, and I didn't have to wait for cooldowns. Now, if somebody is just slightly lower level than me and they can contribute, fine. But if I'm helping somebody who's a lot lower and the entire mission falls on my shoulders, that was the build that was helping me. Ultimate Damage Link was killing everything. I was tanky enough to not die because I had Golem up all the time. And now it's just not the case. Why? Well, we're going to talk about that in just a second, but also something to note. You may use this glitch, bug, whatever the hell it was called, with the Golem mod. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about Emergency Stance. Emergency Stance last week was completely bugged for the previous 3 weeks that the game has been out. What the mod actually does or did makes you have a Golem effect every time your health drops below 30% for 4 seconds. What actually was happening was this would happen, you would proc this, then you would die, take this mod back off, go with a full DPS mod for your entire armor set, and this would always be up. Not that you unmodded it and then it only happened every time you hit 30%. No, this was constantly up 100% of the time as long as you procced it once. They fixed this, and as they should. It is a completely busted thing to have 65% damage mitigation for the entire game. However, within fixing this, they up a lot of other stuff. Namely, everybody getting one shot, which I had happen to me with 193,000 armor and 20% resistances playing the tank class. I legitimately got one shot by a broodmother. Besides my feelings on that, there definitely is, if we just take an intellectual or logical look at exactly what's going on, there's obviously something going on here that isn't working properly. But beyond all of that, this is where I got really pissed off. The statue set, like I said, is what I was using for the majority of my recording, gameplay, carries, help, everything on Twitch. It was performing a lot better than I really could imagine it really could, considering we are a Devastator. But when they fixed emergency stance, they broke the statue set. So what do I mean? The statue set is this. It's using either Tremor or Golem increases firepower by 100% and your weapon skill leech by 100%. Now there says on here, no cooldown. If you watch the video, I'll link it in this channel, or I'll link it in this video. If you watch the video, the whole idea here is to keep Golem up as long as possible because you want that 100% firepower as long as possible, but it's no longer the case. So we have our gear modded with Perseverance. We have Golem Squad for an extra 20%. And then we have things like Bleeding Impulse and then Golem of Death. When the skill is active, extends its duration by 2 seconds for each enemy killed. Now, the thing about this build is that it's actually really fair. We still don't do nearly as much damage as other classes, and you have to play perfectly to be able to actually pull it off. You have no defense. The second Golem goes down, you get one shot, and if you aren't doing enough DPS, your Golem leaves and you're not doing nearly enough DPS. This build had to be played perfectly. It was a ton of fun, and I really friggin' enjoyed it, and now it is gone. So how is it gone? Well, here we go. So we have this statue's head with Perseverance, so it gives our Golem at base is usually an 8-second duration. So now it's at 16 because we have 100% more Golem. Then here we have another 20%. So we really should be at 18 to 20 seconds worth of Golem every time we proc it. And we are, but you'll see the issue in just a second. So we load into a mission, we have 215,000 firepower. If I use Golem right here, we have 350,000 firepower. Good? Good. Now, here's the issue. Every time you use your Golem ability, we get that bonus. That's how it's supposed to work. That is how it works at the moment. However, it seems that somewhere along the line, they messed up something to where every time our Golem goes past its initial duration, whatever we have, so Perseverance and Golem Squad, we seem to lose our bonus damage. Now, mind you, on this build, I have Sharp Eye, I have Bloodlust, I have all of that kind of stuff that is with the build. So we killed a few enemies, so that all of that stuff should be stacked right now. And let's take a look at what our firepower is. Our Golem is still within its 20% increased duration, and we're only at 215,000 firepower. It is completely obvious that I have Golem still on, considering I still have the rocks on my body, but I have already lost the firepower bonus, making my shots hit on average from 122 to 65,000, making the build almost useless because now I cannot proc Golem again because all of my mods have duration on it. So I am doing absolutely no damage to this enemy. This is with everything stacked up, Bloodlust, all of that stuff. I feel like we've killed enough enemies for it to really show, and we're only at 215,000 firepower. That's basically what I want to show you guys. There's definitely some buggy stuff here. Wait, do I even have Sharp Eye on? I do. That makes no sense. I'm just learning about this now. How do I have Sharp Eye on and I start the mission with the same exact amount? Hold on. Hold on. Hold up. Hold up. Hold on. Just want to double check this here. What did I start with? 167. Okay. That makes sense. 167, 302. I don't know where the 350 came from previously, but as you can see, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. As you can see, this is completely bugged. It doesn't work half the time. It works some of the time. It definitely can't be modded or kitted for, because you have two options. You either make your golem last 8 seconds and then just use it every 8 seconds, and perhaps use tremors in there as well to proc the mod twice. Then you lose out on endless mass, and you lose out on all of your survivability, because the only thing that's keeping you alive is golem. You have absolutely no room for any other mods, and you have no defensive mods that you could possibly take, except for one armor mod when an enemy dies near you. So with that being said, I am kind of furious that I've put 400 hours mainly on one character, finally found a build that I can help people with, and then I log on to the game and the entire build is gutted. The worst part about it is it only leaves us one build path. That's it. You have one build path as a Devastator to actually do damage. The top tree is dead, the middle tree is useless, and if you don't have the full seismic gear, it is very, very difficult to get through any of the late game stuff. Again, we have Golem on, and we have 215,000 firepower, when it should easily be over 350. The build is dead, my favorite build. Hopefully it'll be fixed. But for the meantime, if you've been running this build and you don't understand why you're not doing as much damage as you were before, this is why. This video was a lot different than my normal stuff. There's a lot of issues within the game. Hopefully they fix them. That's really all I wanted to talk about today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. TikTok out.